Off top in 1967, Max McGee, a backup receiver for the Packers, got drunk the night before the Super Bowl because he thought he wasn't going to play. He had to play. Ended up with 138 yards in the Super Bowl championship. Play the music.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.
Welcome to the Domonique Foxworth Show. I'm Domonique Foxworth. That's Charlie Kravitz. I Googled a list of crazy Super Bowl stories because I thought we could just do a little recap, event recap, because I think we got every year we end up with a ridiculous amount of absurd events when we go for an extended gallivant in the Super Bowl, but this year I think was a special one. So
this one was so needed.
We
needed this event.
We should let the fans in on what happened. We have some sports stories that we'll get to towards the end. Yeah, hopefully, like if the stories are as good as I think they are, we may not get to them. But I thought it would be a good idea to start with that. But I've forgotten that Diana Ross took a helicopter out of the stadium at halftime. Do you remember that? She performed a halftime show in 99, and instead of running into the back or whatever people normally do, a helicopter picked her up. I completely forgot about that.
I forgot about that too. The only the big aerial thing I remember is a descent when Lady Gaga jumped off the top, like that top area, the top row.
That's the halftime shows have been. It's like the wardrobe malfunction is the only thing that people remember. Prince getting rained on. I think the helicopter you put in there, and remember the streaker? We had a streaker this year, but there was a streaker before who dressed up like a referee.
I don't remember that one. The streaker this year could run.
He did. The security needed some help, man.
Kyle Williams, 4-3 guy had to run him down. Yeah. The Max McGee thing from the off top, one, classic NFL films. They reference him in every NFL films of early Super Bowls, but two, when we were walking around in LA before flying home from the Super Bowl, I was like, I don't know if I can eat something heavy before this flight, 6-hour flight. And you're like, maybe I would have been a better football player if I had taken my diet seriously, but I can eat whatever I want. It's totally fine.
It's something that I you've divulged so much to me over the course of this last week. I felt like it's something I never tell anybody because I hear people talking about it and I don't understand it, where they're like, oh, I can't eat that before I do this. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, my digestive system works. I eat whatever I want to eat as much as I want to eat, and then I do what I want to do. I've never had to like plan my meal around my activities. It's weird to me.
I can't even podcast on too full of a stomach. The concept of playing an NFL game is crazy. But it's made for every Novak Djokovic or Tom Brady, there's a Max McGee or Domonique Foxworth that can just get it done.
I mean, maybe I was doing it wrong. Like if somebody would have taught me earlier, maybe I had just been feeling like trash my entire life, and I just think this is what it's supposed to feel like. I should be eating healthier, but it's too late now. We're done. You said LA, and we went to LA before the game.
Yeah.
And to be clear, I enjoyed our time in San Francisco, but LA is real California. Everything else, get the hell out of here.
I immediately went on Redfin. Started looking at it. So how do you want to do this? We should do our top 5 craziest things each from Super Bowl week, but do you want to start with how going to Super Bowl week?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because do you want to start from my aspect of it, or my side of it, or your side of it? Because I think I pieced it together.
Yeah, you can tell it from your side. You said you pieced it together. I get on the plane and sit down, and then Chris Long, who you have on his hat, you work on his show also, and so I sent you a text like, "Oh, Chris Long's on my flight."
Yeah.
And then that was it. Then I told the stewardess what I wanted to drink, and I started to get comfortable.
So around that time, I think I texted you back because I'm on the group chat for Greenlight, and I get this text from Nate Collins, Dr. Fax, who's like, Desmond Howard's on our flight 3 rows behind us. And so I was like, I'm pretty sure he thinks Domonique is Desmond Howard, but let me confirm before I just assume. Nate's not white, by the way.
Yeah, that was the most upsetting part to me. I mean, because like I would have had so much more fun with this. But anyway, continue your story.
So I text Domonique. It's like, is Desmond Howard on your flight? And you're like, not that I've seen. Just Chris and his friend.
Yeah, because I know Nate.
I immediately text you and Chris separately, being like, yo, I'm pretty sure Nate thinks that Domonique is Desmond Howard. You guys need to lean into this all week. And I just get an OMG back from Chris. And Dominique, you're like, bet. I got this.
I can't wait, man.
And then, of course, Chris is like, he stares back at you immediately. He looks back.
It's so weird because he's in like the first row and I'm in like the fifth row. So everyone's looking and he turns a big, stupid grin on his face and he was so happy. But yeah, that's what happened. Then the whole flight happens, blah, 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 blah. And then I get off with Chris first and it's like, hey, I'll see you. I got to go to the bathroom. I'll see you at baggage claim. So I go to baggage claim immediately. Chris hits the Heisman, the Desmond Howard Heisman pose in front of me and said, "What up, Dez?" And gave me a dap. And then Nate is kind of like starry-eyed, a little like fan. He's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Yeah." So I start playing it. I was like, "Yeah." Everybody does it to me, and I like fake get mad at Chris. Like everybody does it to me. I'm sick of the Heisman. Blah, blah, blah. And like, all right, Dez, I see you around. I was like, "Can I come past the house? We doing just talking and knocking it around, having a good time." And I'm waiting for Nate to do or say something ridiculous. And so we're good there. And I leave because Dez car's waiting. Dez ain't waiting at baggage claim. Dez got to go get the car. The man is a Super Bowl MVP. Like, I'm not hanging out at baggage claim with you fools. So Dez, me, go out to get my car. And I start texting Chris again like, can I come on the show as Desmond Howard while Nate is there? But Chris is, and of course I tell Chris that I'm particularly disappointed because, I mean, brothers got to know brothers. Like, come on, Nate. And but Chris is a good Samaritan, I guess, or a good friend, and he prematurely, if you ask me, spilled the beans.
There was no chance he was gonna be able to hold it in.
He's like, I couldn't help myself.
So the two explanations I got, Nate was like, I had 2 Mike Tyson ear edibles, so he was like, I think I had 100 milligrams of THC. I just looked back and saw Desmond Howard. And then Chris is actually, he's like, we could have kept it on going all week. Stanford Steve wanted to keep it going all week. He was super in on it. And he's like, Chris was like, as an ally, I couldn't let that happen.
You're not my ally. You're not my ally. Oh, God.
It was amazing. I mean, it was such a funny way to start the week, too.
But I landed and we went from there to our friend, my friend from business school, Sanjay, who lives in San Francisco, and he's met us at Super Bowls before, and we've gallivanted with him before, but now he's a big fancy investor and has courtside seats to the Warriors game. So he picks us up. Well, we meet him at the Dubs game. What?
He plays it cool first. He's like, do you guys want to go to the Warriors game?
Yeah.
Steph is out. And he's like, you just got to have the Ticketmaster app and send out your...
So I knew because I've seen he sent me pictures before from courtside where like Jay-Z's sitting right next to him. But yeah, he sends us the tickets because he's like, we're gonna have to come straight from the airport. So Charlie gets the ticket and then comes back to the group chat and it's like, what the this says A. This says A.
Is that not the reasonable response? Like, I didn't like, one does not just be like, hey, do you want to go to the Dubs game? And they put you courtside.
Yeah. I knew, and he was pissed that he couldn't just surprise you. Like, he said, I wanted it to be a full, like, walk in and see it surprise. But, like, I've been, I don't know, to
it's
like
the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. I've been to, like, a Warriors game, like, 3 rows back. But it is entirely different experience when you are, like, right on the floor. And Steph didn't play, Embiid didn't play, of course. Paul George was out. Maxey played, but it did not matter. Draymond
DJ
played.
Edgecombe looked incredible.
Edgecombe was awesome, but it didn't matter because just a few weeks earlier I had gone to see Marcus's son play in a tournament, and of course we're courtside for that, and it was just so much fun to watch. Like, it's a bunch of Marcus's son, Marcus Spears' son, is, as I'm sure a lot of people know, is the best basketball player in the country at his age. So they play for these teams that are a collection of all future NBA and high-level college players. So, like, sitting courtside for that was just incredible to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Now, imagine multiplying that by 10. Like, it's just so fun and impressive. I think you made the point that football is perfect for TV, but basketball, if you're close up, and people say that about hockey, too. I've been to hockey games, but it's just like it's a better live experience. And yeah, watching that sport from that angle was just mesmerizing. There's so much weird stuff happening while we were there.
First of all, Joe Lacob is like walking around. His wife has 4 championship rings on her hand.
Hugging Sanjay it's great.
Phil Hellmuth is giving gambling advice. Like, there's a bunch of NFL guys who are just like, there's Cam Jordan and Dominique Sue, Jordan Love. I accidentally kicked over Jordan Love's.
Yeah, you did kick over Jordan Love
or whatever.
No, it wasn't. It was a can of water that you.
No, it was a cup. It was a cup.
I thought you kicked over his water.
No,
he had his cup.
I kicked over some cup.
I don't know what he was drinking. It was definitely water, though. I know that.
It was clear, so I guess it was water. I shouldn't assume it was. Shouldn't assume it was a Vodsod.
He's a world-class athlete. Second most impressive athlete in his family, but world-class athlete.
Yeah, that was immediately scouted. That. I mean, look, he's a Packer. Could easily have been Max McGee situation.
It could have been a Max McGee situation. Fortunately,
right after the Pro Bowl season's over.
So prepare for this. I got this joke off on Get Up the day after the Super Bowl. So get ready. The whole year, when anybody else tells this joke, it's mine. Mm-hmm. The Super Bowl that is on ESPN next year is going to be on Valentine's Day. So I made a reference to Jordan Love playing in the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day. Mine. Got it. I want trademark.
You're just taking all of it. Any Jordan Love for Valentine's Day.
Any Jordan Love Super Bowl Valentine's Day, that's on me. To be fair, I stole it from I didn't steal it. One of the Get Up producers, Eric, fed it to me, but I got it first. It's ours. Me and Eric. That's us. From here on out. To the end of the year, when you start trying to talk about Jordan Love playing the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day, I did that.
I was going to go with Julian Love or Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, that's fine.
What if Jeremiah Love ends up like rushing for like 1,500 yards as a rookie and is on Super Bowl team?
Julian Love did just get an interception in the Super Bowl, so maybe he'll be back, but probably not. We had that conversation too on the show, like about the chances that the Seahawks get back to the Super Bowl or the chances that the Patriots get back to the Super Bowl. Man, it looks pretty grim. So we had to pick our way too early Super Bowl predictions, and I was like, if it's on our network, give me Bills versus Cowboys.
Sure. That will never happen.
They're going to fix the defense. I mean, the Patriots did it in one offseason. Let's go. Jerry doesn't spend in free agency like that, though.
Also, like, hold on. Before we get into this, why does it look bleak for the Seahawks?
No, it's just hard. That's all.
I mean, it's like hard.
Yeah,
I get the
hard.
And
no,
the Patriots.
It's much bleaker for the Patriots than it is for the Seahawks. But I think that when you see the teams that repeatedly go to conference finals and the Super Bowls, like, the single ingredient that does not regress nearly as much as other ingredients is superstar quarterback. So, like, that's the hard part, I think, is that defense would have to play as well as it did last year. It's going to have to do that again next year in order to get back to this place, and that's just really hard. Defenses regress a lot.
Of course, yeah. It's obviously really hard. I was wondering if there was a specific reason why it looked bleak for them, but that
no. It just looks bleak. Starting from the bottom all over again without a quarterback that gives you a cheat code. But anyway, I'm not going to let you defend your people and get us off of this Dubs game, because the first thing that happens when we walk in, well, I guess never mind. They're not your people. Also, note. Nerdiest crowd in the NBA.
Oh my God!
Just a conglomeration of high IQs and low EQs all up in there.
The craziest thing about that is I thought it was probably a bit that was different than Oracle, because I've been to Oracle. Yeah. And Oracle was like, I was like, how different can it really be? It can't really be like a Silicon Valley like tech scene. That's the entire. It is.
It's just bubble vest galore. Just tiny, tight bubble vests all over the place.
I mean, it was bubble vests with like whatever long position hedge fund gives you that Patagonia or VC company. Yeah. But I loved it. Sanjay was also the king of courtside.
He was.
Like, genuinely, everyone who was at the stadium was like excited to see Sanjay letting loose, having fun with his friends. He was beep bop booping everyone.
I am so proud of my little South Asian son. He's grown up to be such a boon to my family. And
there was a tiny part of you though during the week when
you got jealous. You got jealous.
You got jealous. Damn it. Of me and Sanjay.
That's all right. You know what? I got a better best friend than both of y'all.
Well, that was we can get to that.
We'll get to that.
Before Marcus Spears, who he'll eventually be my best friend too. He just doesn't know it yet.
You are just a Trojan horse best friend. Like I'm the Trojan horse, and you jump out, and you best friend my best friends.
So we took a car with Marcus, and in the middle of it, I had to reel it back.
I was like, you were scaring him. Another story that we'll get to at some point. Charlie is a Kramer. However, Charlie is from a crew of Kramers. I met two of Charlie's friends from college, and they told me about the house they lived in afterwards, and they had a bunch of friends in there. The one thing that I did not know could exist is a whole crew of Kramers. Like there could only be
minus the racism.
Yeah, that's fair. Right. No,
I mean very
Kramer,
clear.
I mean Kramer on the show,
yeah.
not Kramer off the show, whatever his name really is. Again, the Dubs game. We got to get off the Dubs game. But the last thing I'll say, we walk in, and the gift that they give is like early in February. So this is their Black History Month celebration. They give us Warriors hats with kente cloth on the brim, like a kente cloth design on the brim. And I'm like, all right, cool. Put on the hat. I need a haircut anyway. I'm getting one the next day. So I put on the hat. And as we're walking in, they have like posters spinning around showing people of Black history that they want to celebrate. And like, I appreciate the effort, but it's like Huey P. Newton. I'm like, have y'all ever read anything? Like of all the people in Black history that you could put up there, like I think Huey P. Newton, and I guess since they're close to Oakland, you gotta do that. But it's like, somebody who would hate all of this? Huey P. wouldn't be down with it. But anyway, we get to the game, and they do a bunch of different things to celebrate Black History Month. One of which is an all-Asian dance crew dancing to Squabble Up. Was one of their Black History tributes. They were getting it. However, they had a Black History kiss cam where they're just going around with like a kente cloth frame showing people. I guess it wasn't branded as a kiss cam. They were just showing people, and it was just all white people kissing. So when people get on screen, I guess they think they're supposed to kiss. So in the defense of the Warriors operations crew, they were not trying to make it a whites only Black History kiss cam. It just turned into that, which was weird. They also had a bunch of ladies do the electric slide, right? That was weird also.
That was a college brochure. It was.
Oh yeah, they had a college brochure collection of people doing the electric slide, which was funny. Was that all of the Black History celebrations that we saw?
I think the one thing that got swept under the rug of that was we all had our kente cloth hats, and we go to the lounge beforehand.
Yes.
And the people working there were like, "Yeah, just throw those on your seats. Like you'll save it for halftime. Like." But take that trash and like you'll reserve your spot.
Yeah, we were in their special fancy lounge with like 4 total Black people on Black History Month celebration, and they were like, toss those over there. They're your seat holders. But I held on to mine because I got
4 total
self-respect.
Black people too were Cameron Jordan, Baron Davis, you, and Jordan Love.
That's true. I laughed to keep from crying. What else? Is that it? That's all for the Dubs game?
For the Warriors game? Yeah, that's about it.
And they got their kicked.
They did. But we're Edgecombe. We're big BJ Edgecombe guys now.
So talented, man. That was so fun watching.
That so I'm pretty sure Tyrese Maxey could play in the NFL.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was another bit that you had at the basketball game. It was like, who could have played in the NFL, but obviously wisely decided not to. What story do you want to tell one next?
Well, I think I don't want to jump ahead too much.
Okay. You want to go in chronological order, not just in order of ridiculousness.
No. Well, let's go through let's pick a couple things. Let's each do our top 3 craziest things.
Okay.
Our power ranked things that we thought were the funniest from Super Bowl weekend. I'll let you go first. We'll go back in first. You're number 3. Craziest.
Number 3, I think. Can we call Mina?
Yeah, call her.
I think we should call Mina because the.
Are you talking about my friend?
Your friend. We met a guy named Tim, and Tim had a very particular skill that was amazing. I'm gonna call Mina, see if she can join us. All right, I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. We're recording an episode right now, and I'm telling the story of one of Charlie's friends, and I would just like you to express to Charlie and the audience the guy's talent and how incredible it was. Can you do that, or are you too busy? Mina Kimes, you're live.
Hello. So, do you want me to tell the whole story? You can tap me in? How
No,
are we doing this?
tell the whole story from your perspective.
Okay, so after our live show, we went to a bar, and you guys had both invited friends. And I think Charlie had a couple, maybe, college friends
Yeah,
there.
he did.
Anyways, so I didn't meet them after the show or chat with them immediately, but somebody explained to me, Charlie has a friend. I'm sorry, I don't remember who this was.
Tim.
I think it might have been you, Dominique. Was it him? Okay, well, let me just say this. Somebody said, Charlie has a friend here whose nickname is the Chugger.
Yeah. Yeah, I
was
told you
like,
that.
Okay, I think you did. And I looked around, scanned the room, and I don't like to profile, but immediately I was like, that's the Chugger right there. It was a white guy about our age with a backwards baseball cap.
Hawaiian shirt.
Long hair.
Hawaiian shirt.
I've been wearing a polo shirt. I'm painting a picture here. A Hawaiian shirt. And honestly, I would have bet my 401k that was the guy, that his nickname was the Chugger. Hadn't talked to the guy. Big jaw, most important to the story. So, everybody kind of laughs, and me being me, I'm like, I gotta see this, because whatever. If somebody tells me something like that, I have to see it. So I pull him over. I'm like, so, what's the deal? What's the backstory? How good are you at this? And he gives us his whole, lore,
Yes.
which is, he really discovered he had this talent when he was in 4th grade, chugging apple juice. But kids didn't really appreciate it until high school, for obvious reasons. And I think I said, well, what was the moment when you really knew you had something special? It's like when you talk to an NFL player and you're like, when did you know you were built different? And he said they were in a circle and everybody, maybe it was a frat thing or something. He said everybody had to chug, and he chugged, and then he looked around and everybody had just started. And I think that had to have been when Derrick Henry first had the football in his hands, and I mean, it was he was like, I just knew I'm different. So, I'm like, all right, now I gotta see it. He's like, oh, he's got he doesn't even have a beer. And I was like, I mean, what's it going to take, man, to see you do this? And he's like, well, I like to have some competition. So I'm like, cool. All right. So nobody wants to do it. Tice walks in. Nate Tice, shout out Nate. And I'm like, who's another tall, beefy boy. And I'm like, perfect, Nate, get over here, Wisconsin. And Nate's like, I don't know, my chugging days are behind me or whatever. But Nate was with Matt Harmon, who it was copy-paste Nate, big, tall, beefy dude. And Matt was intrigued. Matt's like, all right, I'll do it. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it too. So and I said, what do you want? And literally before I could have saying, what do you want? The guy was like, but 2 Bud Heavies. I was like, whoa, okay. And honestly, he was very he was kind of pretending he was playing a little coy.
Yeah, he was eager.
But it was this is a little, maybe you don't know this, but Kristen Wiig, the famous don't make me sing SNL skit. Anyways, so we get them. I'm like, I'll take a Bud Light because I'm me. And we sat around, we in a circle, not sat around, we were standing, and Matt and I were like, all right, they got pints, let's go. And literally, Matt and I lifted our beer to our lips, and as soon as I looked up, he was done. It was so insane. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Matt had probably finished, and I don't mean to slander him, because I'm sure he probably finished maybe 15% of his beer, and this guy had chugged an entire pint. So then I said, and then he was you could tell he was he was like, who wants to watch this, So I was like, all right, can you do it again so I can videotape it? And I also wanted to see the physics of it.
Yeah.
So the Chugger gets another pint.
He was disappointed, so it's important to note.
He said he caught an air bubble.
It was important to note that he said he caught an air bubble. And I did a post chug interview, and I think I did a post chug interview after the second chug. But anyway, go ahead.
So he did it again, and again, it was kind of I don't even know how to explain it to people. It was literally just watching someone take a breath. But from the outside, I do think this is one of those things how Michael Phelps has weirdly webbed hands or whatever. he has like a very pronounced Adam's apple that you don't notice until he starts chugging. And then it's like, it literally, I think fishes can do this, honestly.
Yeah.
Fish. So yeah, I could probably zoom in, illustrate the video.
Yeah, we got the video.
If you want it. Oh, you got a video too? Okay. Something's going on with this throat. I don't know. That's all I got to say. I'm not saying he's like on PEDs. I'm just saying like this seems like a genetic thing. And that was it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mina.
I took the video. I showed it to many people that night. Everyone, like, I kept getting like, that's disgusting. I was like, what are you talking about? This is like a raw talent.
So Mina, I'll let you go in a second. I want to tell you a couple of things. I don't know if I did. I think I might have texted this to you, but it's important to know that the post-game interview, after I think his third chug, I said, it's incredible. It's almost as fast as if you just poured it out. And he got offended. He got offended.
Like he thought you were accusing him of cheating?
No. He got offended because he was saying what's special about it is it's faster than you pour it out because he creates a vacuum. He's like, what? He's saying he could beat someone pouring out a beer.
Just pouring out a beer.
Because
how does this not like a reality series, like, Power versus the Shark, like of this man? He said, and then we asked him, I left out an important thing.
Okay.
I asked him also, do you go to ever like just show off your talent and go to bars? And he said, not a lot, but he has hustled in the past. Yes. But he has to like sweeten the deal, so he'll be like, I bet I can drink 3 beers in the time it takes you drink 1, and everyone's like, of course, I'll take this, and then he just schools people.
The last thing I'll say before I let you go is, we met him for dinner again later in the week.
They let him into restaurants?
Sadly, they do. He was trying to chug the whole night, but we wouldn't let him. But I'd never seen someone more proud than when he said he had a son. And I was like, oh, cool. And I started laughing like, oh, it was your son, Chuck? And he, straight face, he showed potential.
Chugging milk?
Yes, he was serious. So whatever mutation that he has that's made him the great chugger, he believes that there's a Chuck Jr., a little chuggy on the way.
I don't want to be like unkind, but I never want to know this man's name.
I won't tell you. Yeah, that's fair. Chugger's better.
Trevor, he's the chugger to me.
Oh, man. Anyway, well, tell Nino we said hello and have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
It was the best.
It's ridiculous.
During this segment, if you were listening on podcast, go to YouTube because we'll have put in the 3 videos of the chugger. And I've been seeing this for 15 years.
I've never seen anyone chug in person before.
So
that was my first chug experience. Yeah, I've never seen it. Like, I know it's like a college party thing. That was not a thing that happened at the football. Maybe it was at the lineman parties. Well, it wasn't at the DB parties.
Nate Tice. Maybe we can set this up. Maybe at a future date, even if this might be something that we can get on like Netflix. But Nate Tice claims that Travis Frederick is the only person he's ever seen who can chug like that. And he's like, I think Travis Frederick can get him. And I was like, nah, dude, like whatever. This is like when someone says that he's the Jordan stopper. I saw him chug a 6-beer pitcher faster than someone chugged 1 beer. It was pretty crazy.
That's insane.
But yeah, he was great. And then my other dip friend who's not an athlete had an hour-long argument with you, Domonique, because he thinks he can start under the basket with the basketball being guarded by Kawhi Leonard and get to half court. Meanwhile, I've played this guy in basketball. I've never seen him dribble with his left hand.
That was the most ridiculous thing.
Do you want me to call him and ask him if he still thinks he can do it?
Sure, by all means.
He's on the West Coast. He might still be at work, but he's gonna know what I'm calling about.
It's an insane assumption. And so, to be clear, let me paint a picture of this guy. He's 5'7".
On the roster at 5'7".
Yeah, he's a roster 5'7". He's obviously works out. He's in good shape. But to be clear, I asked these questions. When did you stop playing organized basketball? So I was like, where'd you play in college? I didn't play in college. Did you play in high school? No. He stopped playing organized basketball in the 8th grade. And this man tried to convince me. Of course, I dismantled his argument. It did not take an hour. The rest of it was me trying to decipher what type of mental illness he has.
The best part is our producer, Kevin, has played basketball with my friend Marsh and was like, when I told him the story, he was like, wait, it was this guy?
To be clear, I broke it down. I was like, all right, so do you think you are faster, stronger, quicker, or smarter? Like, what advantage are you going to use to get past Kawhi Leonard? He said, his response, Charlie, do you want to say what his response was?
There's a lot of court. He just kept saying there's a lot of court.
And this is why. And then they went on to tell a bunch of other stories about their other friends that they all live with, some of which I don't think I can share. But to be clear,
we lived with the crackhead. He's not a crackhead anymore. He was a crackhead for a time.
He would go out and go do crack with people around DC.
We also only talk about this. Some of us in New York. We only talk about this on Super Bowl week. We first talked about this in Super Bowl in Vegas, then it was brought back up in New Orleans. It's like an annual tradition.
It's mind blowing to me that he would go just do crack and then go to work and then come back in the house with y'all like nothing.
You know what? The irony of this is you did a Foxworth Friday on Bomani show, and you had an argument where he said there is occasional crackheads, and you're like, occasional crackheads don't exist. I was like, I texted Bomani and was like, yeah, they do.
I know it was functional. Like I did not. Yeah, occasional crackheads and functional crackheads was something I did not know of. Like I learned that like some people could do cocaine and operate, but I was like, no, you can't be like occasionally a crackhead. But anyway, this is just a couple.
We will not name that name.
Yeah, of course.
There's the chugger, and then
there's the Kawhi stopper. And then Charlie, which Charlie has a whole bunch of other weirds, and like Charlie's, he's got some Kramer to him. But
one is quirky.
Yeah, Charlie's normal. He's the cool guy in his crew.
Yeah, it's weird.
You are the Jerry Seinfeld of your crew, and you did have a Jerry Seinfeld observation in San Francisco where you just were like, "Why is San Francisco so hilly?" It's like, yeah.
It's insane they decided to build on that plot of land. It is insane. And then midway through the week, at the beginning, you were like, haha, like whatever. And then midway through the week, you were like, these hills.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that this is just, I'm sure we could Google it and find out, but I assume that's where the goal was. Right? Yeah. Like we move west, the goal is here, we put our house here, and we put our businesses here, and then they just keep building up. Like somewhere along the way, somebody just said, hey, at this point, there's no reason to still be here. And it is like, if you've been to San Francisco, you know what we're talking about. But it is, I don't know, it's like it's on a 30-degree angle. Like
all of it.
Like all of San Francisco is like built on, like if you played high school football, you know the hill that you ran up for punishment? That's all of San Francisco. It's just one big hill. And if it takes you 5 minutes to walk somewhere uphill, it'll take you 1 minute to get downhill. You just all gravity take you. It's insane. I've been to San Francisco once before, but I was in college, but I hadn't been there in a long time. And the part that we were in was near the baseball stadium, and I didn't get to experience the hills like we did there.
Well, I'd only really stayed in the marina and Russian Hill, and I was like, so I wasn't going over the hill and back, but like
fancy pants.
We went from the marina to downtown like 10 times each that week to go from the Green Lighthouse back to downtown and other stuff. So it was like we just went over them darn hills over and over again.
All right, we got to tell some quick hitter stories because I feel like we're getting long. We were thinking like 20 minutes, and it's like
we're 35 minutes in and we've gotten through 2 stories. So we both have new best friends. Do you want to tell? So yours is
Marcus, my new best friend.
Yeah.
He's been saying this for a while now that we're best friends. So
which is great, and I had to rein it in. Couldn't be too weird in front of him. Yeah. But you know who I could be? My new best friend's Rex Ryan. He doesn't know it yet.
Oh yeah, that's great. So we went to we flew to LA, and Rex was on Get Up the morning after. So we did Get Up from LA. So we went to LA Sunday morning. And so me and Charlie, so when I do Get Up on Monday after, like I did it like 4 or 5 times this year, I would watch the games with Randy, Rex. It's like the countdown crew. Teddy, Alex Smith, Adam Schefter, and Greeny. This time it's just me, Teddy, Rex, Greenberg, some producers, including Charlie. I don't know. I mean, we can't share very many of the things that Rex Ryan says, but Rex Ryan, he's I explained this to Rex. I was like, Rex, I love you because you are like a little voice that I have in my head. However, I have a bunch of other voices that jump on that voice and tie it down. Because the things that you say and do are not things that I don't sometimes want to say and do. But before it makes it to action, the rest of the voices jump on that and say, that's ridiculous. But Rex, nah, he lets it fly. And Charlie, very entertaining. I think we could say that Rex Ryan, he hasn't left the 90s. Rex Ryan?
No. He's permanently. He's not doing the timeout. We need 90 seconds in the 90s to tell a story.
No.
He lives there.
So that's the end of the Rex Ryan story. But Charlie, we hung out with him.
No, the only thing I thought was the funniest part, it was like he was late. He got there just late to watch the Super Bowl. Yeah. And there was a real question about whether or not he was dead.
No, we knew he was alive, man. We knew he was alive.
Not everyone did. I assumed he was alive. Some of the Get Up producers were like, wellness check on Rex?
Nah, they knew. They were just playing. What other stories? So, quick hitters. Do you want to do snack? You want to do FanDuel? Do you want to do
we got
the little? Do you want to do the Nugget story? You want to do?
Well, let's start. We'll end.
Mina.
First of all, who's the coolest person you met?
Coolest person I met.
Yeah. Was there anyone who's you were starstruck?
Not this Super Bowl. I don't think. It's. When you go to the Super Bowl, you kind of expect to be around these people, right? So, like,
well, yeah.
Am I forgetting somebody?
Well, I think it's what we have. So for me, it's Bo Jackson. I got to meet Bo Jackson. And I was like, his aura was like, what the Gen Z kids said. His aura was actually crazy. Like, it was like he walked in and just like ruled the place and was like, I'm the greatest athlete to ever live. But I feel like it's
he's not a better athlete than me, Desmond Howard. But anyway, go ahead.
That's a good point. But I think it had to be when you got us. So you got us into the FanDuel VIP, and
I'll tell.
This is amazing.
So here we go. We get into the FanDuel party, and there's like a Green Day concert about to start. And I will say this: let Charlie lead the planning committee for this year's Super Bowl parties. Hella white. I hear that Fabulous is performing somewhere, and I'm at the Green Day concert. But I'll take charge of the planning committee next year because Charlie took us to the new heights and all those things. So it was great.
I got us into a couple parties.
You did,
like a huge step forward,
which is awesome. So Charlie got us into the FanDuel party, and then we get there, and I see that there's another stage that's like a VIP, and I was like, nah, we're not staying here unless we're up there. So I go to one security guard and talk my way in. And then from the VIP, I scout out the other, because it's a couple different staircases to get there. I scout out all the security guards, and I'm like, all right, that's the one. So I go down to that security guard, and you have to have a silver wristband to get in VIP. And I was like, hey, they told me to go get these guys these wristbands. I'll be right back. I appreciate it. I'm Domonique. Nice to meet you. So I build a relationship with this one specific security guard that I like. And we got to get 3 people in VIP. Then I go out, and the woman who we knew at the front, she said, we're out of silver wristbands. So I come back, grab my gun, my 3 guys, and we just walk with confidence past the security guard. I point to her and point to the guys behind me and start walking through. Me and Charlie get through. Sanjay stops and starts talking. And I go back, snatch Sanjay up, pull him up. We get up there on stage. And then, you want to be American, idiot? Starts cracking off. And it's actually pretty cool. And also, Charlie.
By the way, Green Day looks just like Lisa Rinna from The Traitors now. Like the middle-aged woman from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
They kind of, they was kind of doing it like this.
Yeah, they were.
We left before it was over, but it was a pretty good concert.
It was great. It was sick.
Yeah. Charlie was standing with Gavin Newsom, Tyra Banks, and Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Charlie's just hanging out with him, rubbing elbows.
I was lurking close because I was like, oh, Tyra Banks talking to Gavin Newsom. That makes sense. Gavin Newsom, just some tall, good-looking people trying to save the world.
I forgot.
And then just Matthew Lillard, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, is just
I forgot this part.
Chirping his ear off.
Sanjay walks up to Gavin Newsom and just gives him a dap. And
he's like, I know. He's like, I see Gavin courtside.
This guy, like, he's a meek little guy when I met him in business school. Now he's the king of the Bay. All of a sudden, this Sanjay character.
Him and the Chugger.
Yeah, him and the Chugger. Yeah, the Chugger is the true king of the Bay. But that's it. What else?
This other story is quick.
after dinner. We go to a bar. This is one of the nights. We're at a bar in the middle, or like out in San Francisco, like away from the Super Bowl festivities. It's a crowded bar. We're hanging out with Charlie and his college friends. Yeah, it's a very cool bar. A guy in the back of the bar screams, "Snack Harlow!" and runs over to Charlie.
Runs up.
So like we all are startled, like, are we gonna have to fight in this bar? And he runs up and hugs Charlie. He's like, "Snack Harlow, the vanilla snack is here." We're not even near Super Bowl. Like, this is clearly not someone who is here for Super Bowl. There's someone who lives in San Francisco who is a Charlie Kravitz fan and yelled in the middle bar. I'm standing there like, chopped liver? Like, Charlie's blowing up on me. But anyway, that was a short story.
It was great. And like, I had eaten an edible and was like too zonked out to totally appreciate it at the time. But to my fan, you were awesome.
I think we did it. Let's talk about sports stories now. Get serious. Get your serious face on.
Do we actually need to talk about sports stories, or usually do that on Thursday?
Yeah, let's do it on Thursday. I was with you. All right, thank you, Charlie. That was great. Great recap show. I feel like we should put a disclaimer at the top. If you want to hear us talk about sports, do not listen. Thanks to all the great producers. We out.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.